We begin with this. A deadly, out-of-control wildfire in Northern California suddenly exploded overnight. The Carr fire burned dozens of homes in the Redding area north of Sacramento. Hundreds more are threatened. A bulldozer operator was killed and 3 firefighters were injured. One official says the fire is taking down everything in its path.
Evacuation orders expanded quickly overnight as the fire spread. The chaotic exodus caused massive traffic jams as thousands of people fled. Some were forced to drive through the fire. The Carr fire is one of at least 5 major wildfires burning in California. Joe Vasquez of our San Francisco CBS station KPIX is in Redding. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, and you can see that wall of flames here behind me on the hillside looming over West Redding. It was a frightening and chaotic night last night as that fire just came raging through city subdivisions.
The fury of the Carr fire took the town of Redding by surprise late Thursday as flames jumped the Sacramento River and engulfed the area. Redding is home to some 92,000 people.
This is that new normal, that unpredictability, the large explosive growth fires.
Officials say a private bulldozer operator was killed.
The operator was working on an active section of the Carr fire. We're in the process of notifying next of kin. We can confirm that we have additional firefighters and civilian injuries.
As night fell, worried homeowners watched the flames get closer and closer.
Oh my God, everybody's like panicking and going crazy and everybody's just trying to leave.
Wind-whipped flames made roads nearly impassable. Evacuees quickly filled the highway out of town with bumper-to-bumper traffic. A Redding news station even had to abruptly end its fire coverage.
We are going to leave the station because it is now unsafe to be here.
The fire destroyed homes and an historic schoolhouse in the nearby town of Shasta. Since it ignited on Monday, it has scorched dozens of square miles and is far from contained.
This fire is extremely dangerous and moving with no regard for what's in its path.
The National Guard has been called in to help with the firefighting effort as well as evacuations. But Nora, right now, there's not a lot of firefighting taking place. They are focusing on trying to save some lives.
Joe Vasquez.
Dozens of wildfires across the West have forced thousands of families from their home. And east of Los Angeles, authorities are blaming arson for a fire that destroyed several buildings.
A suspect was arrested in connection to that fire yesterday. CBS News correspondent Jamie Yukas joins us from Idlewild, California.
A cloud of smoke 50,000 feet high towered over the San Jacinto Mountains as the Cranston fire consumed thousands of acres, destroyed multiple homes, and forced more than 3,000 people to evacuate, all within a matter of hours. Emergency crews battled the fast-moving flames from the ground and the air.
Oh my God, that's getting really close to that house.
About 200 children from nearby summer camps were hastily evacuated to a nearby high school, some with nothing but a backpack and a box.
We've still got a lot of work to do to get it contained.
Lee Byers with the National Forest Service. He says the recent heat wave adds another layer of difficulty for firefighters.
105, 110 degrees down in the valleys, and it makes it really hard to stay hydrated. It's just physically draining to be trying to work as hard as you can with that adrenaline flow in those type of temperatures.
The fire was allegedly set by Brandon McGlover, who police arrested and charged with 5 counts of arson. For Byer, who had to evacuate his own home, this news is particularly upsetting.
People are being asked to grab pets and their personal belongings and leave on, a 20-minute notice. To know that it was an intentional start is really frustrating.
And a lot of hot spots. All it takes is one ember and such dry vegetation here for that fire to just quickly move off and create just a firestorm, really, up hillsides and then taking out homes. When you talk about 4,700 acres, doing the math, that's about 7.5 miles of fire. At this point in time in the morning, the sun's just coming up. They think it's about 5% contained, so they're going to have to work on containment today again in that extreme heat because that's not supposed to end until at the very earliest Friday. Now, I want to.
And I am here on Benton Drive and 11th Street. This is the view of the Carr fire in downtown Redding. It is literally on Benton Drive near the Diesel Horse. Look at this. Wow. It is right on the Sacramento River here. Oh my God. Here it goes, guys. Sacramento River is on fire.
The breaking developments in the west at this hour, those deadly wildfires, and tonight real concern that two major fires could now combine as one. At least 8 major wildfires now burning across California. Firefighters battling those two fires very close together and Lake and Mendocino counties. Tonight, the Carr Fire, a staggering number from that wildfire. More than 1,200 homes and buildings have burned to the ground, and that number is growing.
In Southern California, crews racing to contain the railroad fire in Santa Clarita.
There's another drop, and look how effective that is.
In Northern California, a two-headed monster in Mendocino and Lake counties. The ranch and river fires together scorching nearly 75,000 acres.
The fire's coming in pretty hot right this second, but the wind's kind of blowing down and coming up, and you really don't know what it's going to do.
Less than 100 miles to the north, the Carr Fire burning its way into the record books.
The Carr Fire, now one of the most destructive in the history of the state, destroying more than 1,200 structures and flattening entire neighborhoods like this one. People here were sent running after the fire jumped that road and raced up the hill.
Those massive fire tornadoes we saw destroying whole neighborhoods from the air, leaving behind damage never seen before. This steel pipe wrapped around a tree like a pretzel.
Devastating scenes like this, where look, a fire alarm is just hanging on and homes are completely destroyed, could continue for the next couple.
Oh my God, everybody's like panicking and going crazy and everybody's just trying to leave.
Wind-whipped flames made roads nearly impassable. Evacuees quickly filled the highway out of town with bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God!
Thursday night, evacuation orders came on strong. Local officials racing to keep up with a fire tornado, taking out streets and entire communities in Shasta County.
Unanticipated evacuations in Redding are causing traffic to back up in the Quartz Hill Road area.
The street's on fire.
And just get out if you can. The evacuation center.
One mother fleeing with her daughter in the back seat, getting caught in traffic with other evacuees while she watched the fire flurry advance from her rearview mirror. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're very brave, Cadence. You're a very brave girl, Cadence. Hot embers pelting the mother's car like hail from the sky as this massive vortex of flames grew, taking out everything in its path from neighborhood to neighborhood. Something fire officials say they have never seen.
This fire is extremely dangerous and moving with no regard for what's in its path.
2 firefighters caught within the extreme fire behavior. Redding Fire Inspector Jeremy Stoke and 81-year-old Don Smith, who was a privately contracted dozer operator. The firefighting community, heartbroken, headed back to the fire line with no time to grieve.